on with this particular program. Thank you much.
Thank you very much, Roger. As Roger said, my name is Margaret Weitekamp. I'm a curator here in the Space History Division at the Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum. I work with what we call our social and cultural dimensions of spaceflight collection, which means really our collection of spaceflight memorabilia of the actual space program, and then also all of our memorabilia, toys, and other things from space science fiction, those imagined visions of what it could be like or would be like to travel into space. And so the question that I'm posing today, why does the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum have Star Trek objects in the National Collection? In some ways, it's really the same question that one might ask of a kind of a presentation like this. Why Star Trek in the Museum of National Air and Actual Spaceflight? And I will give you my answer right up front, which is that initially, when this museum was first created, this was really, Star Trek was seen as relevant as a current event, as a popular culture aspect of the museum's core interest in preserving the material history of actual spaceflight. But I would argue that it is, in fact, even more relevant today because the insights of new scholarship in the humanities and in popular culture really allow for new and more complex understandings of this relationship between what is imagined, what is envisioned, and what is actually done. And really, in many ways, that is really what we are trying to bring to you today, is to bring to you the insights of some of this new popular culture historical scholarship. And also then, we have two wonderful speakers here to talk about the relevance of this imagined vision of spaceflight for what they are actually doing in the current aerospace industry. And so, as Roger mentioned, the museum has in its collection, and here's a picture of it down in the gift shop. Has anybody been down to see the original studio model of the Star Trek Enterprise? If you haven't, you should head down. It's in the basement of the gift shop downstairs. But this is actually an object that was in the National Air and Space Museum's collection before the museum even had this building. This is the original studio model, 11 feet long, of the Star Trek Starship Enterprise. This was created for the original television show, which aired from 1966 to 1969. And for those of you who are young enough not to know this, this is because back in the day, before computer-generated imaging, if you wanted to have a spaceship in your television show or in your movie, you had to build one and then film it. There was no drawing it in with the computer afterward. What they were able to do was basically shoot this in front of a blue screen and then put the star fields in behind it, or put the orbiting planet in behind it. But this was put together for the Star Trek television show, which aired for 3 seasons. And then it was given by Paramount to the Smithsonian Institution in 1974. So that was 2 years before this building was even open.